He wants to defeat fate. He thanked God that he was given royal blood, means his blood group was O negative, and he firmly believed that one day he would be given royal status, and for that purpose he left his village and came to a big city to achieve his goal in life. But seeing dreams and giving them realization is totally different, he knew soon. To keep up one's soul in such rushy life is really a challenge, and he accepted that challenge willingly. His parents were not wealthy, so asking them for continuous support was to panic them, and was nothing else. And his relatives just don't talk about them. They don't even want to talk to him. Once or twice he went to one of his remote uncle's home, but he was treated as an unwelcome guest. Even his children thought him illiterate and a stigma to their social status. He realized that social status was one thing nobody was ready to compromise. If any one of their neighbors asked about him, it becomes difficult for them to explain their relationship. He also noticed that real uncles or even parents had no place if they were poor and disturbed their social status. And if someone is rich, even remote relations become more dear to anyone. So, he was becoming more determined that at any rate, he would get that position when he would be welcomed at any place. It was the biggest irony with him that for getting energy he sells, energy meant for food, and other requirements of life he sells his own blood. And for O negative, he gets enough money, for which he developed some contacts with people working in blood banks to keep an eye on rich people who could spend a good amount. He knew one thing more, that with a job he could not realize his dreams, because salaried persons always remain hand to mouth. He did not want to live his life like this at all. He wanted to get status. He wanted to go to his relatives in a big car so they could not feel ashamed of introducing him as a remote relative. He wanted to do business, but business demanded money, and for this blessing he was far away, so far. He was becoming anxious and depressed as darkness was all around. And then one day A came from his contact that a very rich family needed a kidney. The patient's blood group was the same, and if he was ready, then further tests could be made. They could give him his desired amount, but he had one day to think about it as the patient's condition was serious. He hung up the phone and an unending battle started in his mind. To be or not to be. God has given 2 kidneys for a purpose. If one fails, the second can help, one voice warns him. If you devalue this blessing, you might face the consequences one day. The other thought comes, luck is knocking at the door. If you fail in availing of this opportunity, you will die in poverty. Do some business, and if you become successful, buy a kidney for yourself if needed, or live on one. The second thought was overpowering him more. He was in extreme confusion, so he did not know when he slept. His eyes opened with a phone call. On the other side was a woman. She was begging for his only child's life and asked him to meet with her. He decided that he would not lose this opportunity. He went to the hospital, and after some certain tests, the kidney match was confirmed. Now he demanded $100,000, which were instantly transferred into his account, and the operation was made. In one day, everything had changed. He gained and lost much. He was not a poor person anymore, but he was not a person with complete organs anymore. Now the time had gone to think about these absurdities. The time is now how to avail of this opportunity. After much consideration and consultation, he decided to go into the car showroom business. This business would also satisfy his desire to use different cars on different occasions to impress the people. He could also develop relations with wealthy people in buying and selling cars. The relatives were amazed at his success, and now happily introduced him as their son and first cousin. He was welcomed in the parties everywhere. He had adopted all the ways and routine of rich people because his business flourished, but an untold fear always remained with him, the pressure that he was living life with one kidney, and if it went wrong, what would happen? When you have nothing, you take maximum risks, But when you have everything, the least fear disturbs you to the maximum. Now he has a beautiful home and an adorable family. He does not want to lose these blessings. Now, sometimes, when he sat alone, he understood why that wealthy woman paid him the desired money in an instant. And after 20 years, the call of danger came when he felt pain in his back. He ran to his doctor and told him the problem. After some tests, the doctor told him that nothing was serious then, but he should change his routine. Waking up late and attending parties now and then should have been minimized. The doctor also advised him to avoid certain diets and told him to take extra precautions because he had only one kidney. He had already taken precautions as he knew the fact, but the real problem was his stress because he knew the fact. Ignorance is a blessing. It is also a blessing that the death time is concealed to everyone. Those who knew the time of their death forehand. Oh dear God, what would happen to them? Yes, one more thing, the doctor said to him. Keep in contact with a person who can donate a kidney when needed. From where I will be to manage a person with royal blood who will be willing to donate his kidney, he unendingly was thinking. Royal blood, tit for tat, tit for tat.